There we are. All right. Well, Kufar Akbar, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Crossing the Crescent discussion group. This is a live stream show dedicated to rightly dividing the truth between Christianity and Islam. I'm your host, Eric Zekever, coming to you live from the cavernous cave in Dal Harb, Kafiristan. We try to be here every Wednesday. We weren't here last Wednesday because I had something I had to do at church. It was pretty important. And then the previous Wednesday, I'm not even exactly sure what happened. Brad maybe can remind me. I don't remember what we were out for. I know we were maybe it was when I went to the Bahamas. That's right. I was in the Bahamas. I went to my wife and I celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary down in the Bahamas. We went to Atlantis was the name of that. I told you guys we were doing that. Okay, so we're going to try to be more disciplined to be here on Wednesdays. Consistently, because that's what people expect. People can expect you to be at a certain place at a certain time when you tell them that you're going to be there. And poor Darcy, she rearranged her schedule to be here, and I appreciate you. Don't know how much I appreciate you doing that. She is always a welcome guest here. There's a couple things that I want to get to before we get to the topic of the show. The topic of the show is the historical errors in the Quran, and I got a laundry list of known historical errors. And if you look at not the intro, what is that thing that you call the narrative that I just wrote up for the YouTube description? When you go to YouTube, you read that, and you have to ask yourself, okay, so we know how to do history. We know the historical method. And we know how the historical method works, and we know how to determine and ascertain events, determine the validity of events from history. We know how to do that. Well, the Quran, in so many places, when it opines on historical events, it gets it wrong. So if it gets it wrong on things that we know, that we can prove, how can you trust it on things that we don't know or we can't prove? When it talks about things theologically, or when Muhammad is alone in his bat cave, getting squeezed by some jinn, telling him, "Recite. You're not a good poet. Oh, you are a good poet." You know what? How can you trust that? So that's basically the focus. Yeah, hysterical. Arabic. There we go. Yep. Thank you, Darcy. Yeah, it's how can you possibly trust that? So what I plan to do is I have a slideshow, and I'm just going to run you through them. If you want a copy of the slideshow, email me and I will send it to you. The people who email me, I usually get to it within a day or two of your email. I get to it just as soon as I possibly can. There's one thing that I wanted to show you. A video clip from Instagram that basically shows you the feelings of Muslims towards Christianity. And when I saw this, I just couldn't believe it. I watched it and I'm like, well, how in the Hades is this the right one? I'm going to make sure I have the right one. Here's the clip. Right here. All right. So here you have, if you can't see this, I don't have my mouse. You can't see the mouse. Okay. Here you are in St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. This is the Vatican, folks. And here you have a Muslim entering the basilica, entering St. Peter's Basilica. This is the heart of the Christian church right here. Right here. And what is this guy? He's urinating on the altar at St. Peter's Basilica. Now, where he's actually urinating, right down, this is down these steps here. There's steps that go down below it. And down below there is the sarcophagus, or no, not the sarcophagus. I believe it's an ossuary. It's a box that contains the bones of the disciple Peter, St. Peter's bones. Now, I'm not, I don't know about you, but I've been to St. Peter's Basilica several times. It's just an absolutely beautiful place. And to see a Muslim go in there and desecrate that would be the equivalent of us taking a pig into the Kaaba or on the steps of the Kaaba and cutting its throat.
Sounds like fun to me. Hey, Eric, but did you know, though, the Vatican has opened up a prayer room for a visiting.
I saw that article. And that's, Brad, I'm going to tell you, that's a pope from your neighborhood.
No, he's from Dalton, and he's a White Sox fan. So I'm telling you, he's not from my neighborhood.
Chicago.
And he's a White Sox fan. Come on, nothing good comes from White Sox.
I used to like the White Sox. I liked the White Sox when they had Carlton Fisk as a catcher.
Yeah, well, okay. No, there's only two
That's
kinds.
The only reason I liked him because
only one kind of fan in Chicago, and that's a Cubs fan.
Yeah,
okay?
well, I used to listen to the Cubbies all the time when I was a kid.
All right, yes.
But the bottom line is that this was done in the Vatican. The St. Peter's Basilica is connected to the Vatican. I mean, they sit right next to each other. And when the Pope gives his addresses, when the Pope is elected, that's where they go. This is where they go. If that doesn't get, when we start talking about this immigration, this massive amount of Muslim immigration into Europe, this is the result. This is what you get. This is what you get when you invite people that absolutely hate you, your country, and your culture. They piss on it. There's going to come a breaking point, and you can report me to YouTube. I don't give a flip. And I'm not advocating it, but I'm just saying the inevitable is going to happen. This is going to end. They're going to keep pushing it because we just saw in Ireland today, some 10-year-old girl gets raped. Oh, by the way, by a Muslim from North Africa that had received a deportation order. Oh, shocker. Yeah. These guys are going to be removed. They're going to have to be forcibly removed from the European continent. And it's going to get ugly. And it will be ugly because Islam is absolutely, and I'm going to keep saying it, is not compatible with Western culture. Everywhere you turn around, they're calling for the eradication of the democratically elected governments and the constitutions that they're founded upon, and calling for the implementation of Sharia law. I will not live under Sharia law. If they're going to get violence, if they want to impose Sharia law, and if Sharia law is imposed in this country, I will be violent about it, and violent in resisting it. I will not be your dhimmi. I will not pay the jizya. I will not respect Muhammad. As a matter of fact, there is a video. There is a video here. Where is it? Here it is, right here. Watch this. Watch this joker. Watch this joker. Look what he has to say.
Please go jump on the treadmill.
I'm just happy you on my panel so people can see what these people act like. That's all. Go.
I don't care.
Please.
You insult my prophet. And you insult my prophet. You insult my prophet. You're executed. You are executed. You get this when you execute the prophet. And I don't take that. I don't apologize for that. You're disgracing the honor of our prophet. You get this. Shut your please go jump on the treadmill.
I'm just happy you on my panel so people can see what these people.
The honor of his prophet. Number one, his prophet had no honor, and we will continue to disgrace it every day that we do this show. I've talked to several people, about, well, you can't, don't insult, you don't, in order to do this show or to do a show like this, you don't have to insult Muhammad. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Well, let me put it this way. When you tell the truth about Muhammad, it is insulting. It is insulting for somebody that has a 21st century sense of morality. When you say that somebody is a murderer and called for the death of people who would insult him, the guy's a scumbag. If the guy rapes women, kills their family, and then rapes them, I married her first, and then rapes them, the guy's a scumbag. If the guy commits adultery in his own wife's bed, the guy's a scumbag. The guy robbed other people, stole money, tortured somebody, a guy, for money. He ethnically cleansed, committed genocide. We talk about genocide. That's your prophet. He committed genocide against the three tribes, according to your own sources. I don't believe it for a second, but let's just pretend that the Quraysh, the Banu Qurayza, and the Banu Nadir, all three tribes existed in Medina. According to your own sources, he went in there and ethnically cleansed them. He's an ethnic cleanser. And we could, point to other things. He enslaved people. He owned slaves. He traded slaves. He engaged in slavery. He's a scumbag. And then, of course, we get to Aisha. Aisha was only 9 years old. He was 53. And he did it every single night. Every single night. He went in and he terrorized that little girl. And it wouldn't be such a bad thing if he wasn't your standard of conduct to follow. If you weren't told that he provided you a sunnah, an example to follow. So you can commit slavery, you can commit rape, you can order the murder and murder people for insulting him, just like that scumbag did, that video clip that we just showed you. You can marry 9-year-old little girls like they're doing in Iraq today. Like you sit here and you watch on Instagram every day. You got little girls, that are, they're pregnant and they're little girls. So yeah, dude, we're going to insult him every single day because what he did is reprehensible.
Here's the thing. Well, here's the thing about this insulting their prophet. Their prophet is dead. How can you insult a dead man? You know what I mean? When they say we're defending his honor, they also say it's blasphemy. Think about this. It is blasphemy to insult their prophet. Okay? What does that tell you? That tells you that they believe that their prophet is a deity. I remember, honestly,
say that again.
Their prophet is a deity, because if it's blasphemy to insult him,
right?
And blasphemy only applies to divinity, okay, to a divine being. Then how can he be, not divine? No, they have elevated him to this status of totally divine being. I remember on arguing with a certain imam, that the racist imam from Texas, we're talking about this, and he was shocked that it was actually blasphemy. He actually said that doesn't make any sense because blasphemy is only for a god. I said, exactly, dude. He said, that's it. Do you use that before? You know how he does. You know what I mean? I'm not here to talk about that. Blah, 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 and then he quickly, boots you out of the room or kills the conversation. But yeah, no, this is what they believe. They believe their prophet is a deity, or is some kind of divine being. Now, honestly, you can ask Muslims, and they'll tell you, flat out, okay, that you can insult Allah all you want, and there's no blasphemy laws against insulting Allah. It's only insulting their prophet that gives you the blasphemy laws, and that's kind of actually quite shocking if you're Muslim. Anyway, continue on.
Well, it also says that blasphemy is that if you revile Allah and his prophet. It says it right here in this book right here. You can't see it. I'm sorry. Whoops, going the wrong direction. Let me bring it back this way. There we go. It says it right here in this book, Reliance of the Traveler, that if you revile Allah and his prophet, it's blasphemy. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay, a couple of weeks ago, we did a show on Islam and its adherence or gravitation towards Nazism. And I'm a firm believer that if you're going to make such an absurd, like if you're going to call Trump a Nazi, or the Republicans, or people who are supporting Nazis, shut up. You don't have any evidence for that. And it's gotten to be such a shallow pejorative by doing that. But when we look at it, its practice in reality, Muslims are doing this all over the globe. And I told you that evening that I would bring you the receipts, but I lost the video. But I decided to go look, and what was lost has been found. So here are 2 clips that I wanted to share.
Alhamdu to Allah. Alhamdu to Allah.
Alhamdulillah. Here we go. Here we have some. Okay, look at the beginning of the clip here. There you go. That's exactly what they're doing. They're doing a lot of fruit piling. And then I got another one here where they're at it. What is this? Is this a soccer game or some sort? Or no, this is well, let me just show you so you don't think I'm lost my mind, which some of you probably already have this. All right. Here we go. This is in Tehran, or no, this is in Lebanon. And they're all giving their Führer, what was that, Nasrallah, who's assumed room temperature, or actually hasn't assumed room temperature. He got blown to bits. Yeah, I can see that. We all feel sorry.
They're still picking him out of people's hair and stuff, man.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you know, yeah.
Yeah,
he's in the stucco buildings across the street, dude.
Yeah, I mean, look at that stadium is full, and everybody's given a Nazi salute. So, you know, this idea that, you know, that political enemies today are Nazis is ridiculous. But when we start saying that Muslims gravitate towards the Nazi ideologies, there you go. I brought the results.
Here's another thing. I got to fault Israel on this, dude. I mean, they need to get smarter on this, dude. When they take out one of their top guys and they have a funeral like this, that's the target right there, dude. That's a target for a Moab, dude. I mean, you know what I mean? You just fly that in there. You could do it. You know, I guess you can do it on. They do have helicopters. You know, one of those. What do you call it? Fuel bombs. You know what I mean? They're just a fertilizer. 10,000 pounds of fertilizer and diesel fuel in a big canvas sack. Okay, just fly it over there, kind of drop it and detonate it there. I mean, that'd take out pretty much all of them. I think, you know, 10,000 pounds of high explosive. But that's just my personal opinion. But I do fault Israel for that, missing an opportunity. But anyway, please continue on.
Okay. Let me see. I think I have one more. I shouldn't do this, but I'm trying to locate it. Okay. I have others, but I'm not gonna sit here and monkey around with it. I'll get myself lost, and everybody will say, "Oh, well, let's go watch something else." Okay. So, Rad, you said you had a couple video clips you went on. What was it? EF Dawa this week. And
yeah. So last Sunday I was actually what's turning out to be sad but true. The last motorcycle ride for the Black Beauty. Maybe forever. She might be being retired. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. But yeah.
What did you say about being retired? What?
The Black Beauty, the Black Beast, the motorcycle.
Oh.
She
I thought you got that back to Chicago.
Yeah, I did, but I don't know. It's like.
All right.
Like I said, I gotta buy a new car. So you know what I mean.
I get it.
Yeah. You know, but anyway. So I was out for the last ride. I was hoping to get a couple more out, but it's just like too cold. It's not going to get any warmer. But anyway, so I was out and I stopped off somewhere in Wisconsin, and I got this notification EF Dow was doing this live stream. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. So I went and I joined. They were gracious enough. They were nice enough to let me join. Fortunately, we were getting into conversation. It got kind of heated. And of course, just as it got kind of heated, I mean, the dude sits there and says that before October 7th, Israel committed 10 October 7 level attacks on the Gazans. And I'm like, really? Anyway, and I sort of kind of lost it at that point. But also I went into a dead zone, so I don't know how much of my rant kind of went through. But either way, so I get disconnected. But the main point is, before this, and I wish I had my GoPro set up because then you could hear me ranting against this guy. They had another Christian. He was supposedly MAGA who joined. He's no MAGA, I'm just saying, okay? But he joined. He was having a conversation with them. And one of the things they were talking about is jizya. And I want to play this clip because he was eating this stuff up. I mean, like sugar, to a fly. I mean, he's like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. That sounds great. I want to live under Sharia law. Yeah, actually, I got it up here. I'm going to have to do it this way. That's right, because we can't do it that way. All right, give me 1 second. Sorry, this is a professional. We are professionals here. Okay, working without a net. Okay, 1 second. Anyway, okay. So, let me pull that over. So I'm going to share this, but I'm going to play the advertisement first because we don't need to see about home loans. Okay, anyway. All right, so, yeah, the dude in the red cap is the supposedly MAGA Christian, MAGA hat-wearing Christian. Let me make sure. Yeah, okay. So we'll play this. How do I do this, man? It's been such a long time. You're like, just do it, Radical. What's wrong with you? Oh, no, I don't want to do video. I want to do screen. Cancel. Sorry. Dude, we got to go back to StreamYard. I'm sorry. This program sucks. Okay. Just saying.
How much is StreamYard?
Well, no. So here's what you do. You join and then you cancel. You got to do it like remember the old AOL thing? Or you probably don't remember this. So back in the day, AOL, America Online, they used to send out those discs, and they would say join for a month free. Well, everybody would join, and then we cancel. This is like nerd stuff. And then they give you an extra. Yeah, then you join. So you join for 1 month, and they cancel, and they'll give you for half price for like 6 months. Okay. Or 3 months. Anyway, why is this frozen up on me? All right, hold on. Technical difficulties. Uh-oh, I might have too much open.
I might take a look at it. I don't know.
All right, hold on. I froze. Okay, well, anyway, so basically, can you hear me still?
Yep, I'm still hearing.
All right, great. So, okay, here we go. Okay, it's coming back now. Okay, cool. All right. Let me close some of this out here. Yeah, I got way too much open. Sorry, guys. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. That. Sorry, I got like 30 different tabs open. Like I said, looking for a car. But anyway. Sorry, everyone. This is my fault.
Connie, that's Larry from Cross-Examining Scripture. That's Darcy. Where'd Darcy go? She just bailed on us.
Okay. All right. Window. There we go. Oh no, entire screen. I want to do entire screen. Share audio. Okay. So here we go. Can you see it?
Kari Shirk Salat joined.
Shirk Salat. All right. Can you see it? You see the screen?
Yep.
Okay. Here we go. So they're talking about Jesus. So let me know if you can hear it.
So I don't believe in a system that would make somebody else second class or inferior or anything like that. I don't believe in that type of a system. And I don't think Islam does that. There are things that can appear in that way, but we have to understand what's going on here. So Muslims pay a tax. They have to pay. It's called zakat, which is given to the state or given directly to the poor. And the state then distributes that to the poor. This is a Muslim tax. It's not on anyone else. So if you're a non...
Now, first of all, let me just put this. So apparently, Muslims only pay a tax. It's called the zakat, and it's only basically social welfare. It's only basically, Social Security, welfare, Medicaid, Medicare, that sort of thing. Okay, then how do you provide for the infrastructure? How do you provide for the roads? Where does this tax money come from to provide for the roads, the highways, the police departments, the courts, the electrical grid, your ports of entry? You know what I mean? Where does this money? If the Muslim tax is zakat, is only a social tax, only a poor tax, only something to be given to the Medicaid, Medicare, or welfare, or food stamps, that sort of thing, then where does the money for the rest of the government come from? Where does the money for the army come from? Where does the money for disease control, infectious diseases? Where does that come from? You know what I mean? So right there, that is a failure of the total zakat and jizya tax. Are you guys following what I'm saying? Okay.
Well, he's lying.
Yes, of course.
Tax.
Well, okay. I don't want to say he's lying. I just want to say he's got this simplistic view that, okay, oh yes, if we just take care of the poor, somehow mysteriously, everything else that comes with governance will just come about. The sewer system, okay, your sanitation, okay. I mean, who's going to build the latrines? Who's going to build the cisterns? Who's going to build your water purification plants? Where's this money going to come from? These are real things, dude. And he's just saying, no, the zakat that we Muslims pay, it's only for the poor. Okay? All right, but let's continue on because I want to get to the jizya part.
Well, hold on. Just a second. Let me just say, the zakat that they pay. You got to
good.
I'm
sorry. Hold on, okay.
But the zakat. I'm still hearing myself.
You're good on my end. I can hear you. I can hear you solid on my end.
Are you on your end? Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Well, I can hear myself. It doesn't matter. So, but the zakat that they pay goes to the mosque. The mosque is not paying the growth. The mosque is not paying for public education. The mosque is not paying for all the public services that are provided to the city. That is a separate tax in the government. The zakat is paid to the mosque, and the mosque is supposed to be taking care of the poor Muslims, which they don't.
All right. Okay. Yeah. It's starting to echo out for me. It's starting to echo out for me. So okay. So again, for your sound system, you got to quit playing us through your speaker because it's on your end. Because you're talking and it comes back through your speakers. So if you got like a headset you can put on, or where's your boom mic, dude? Where's your boom mic? Well, that should be honestly, okay, your standard operating procedure. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, sorry we're having technical difficulties. If I had StreamYard, I could play the technical difficulties thing. But no, we don't have StreamYard because that's me, decided to go with this program, which I'm regretting.
Okay, how about that?
Okay. Well, I can hear you, but go ahead, talk. Say something.
Am I still echoing? Yeah.
No, you're good now. No, not for us. You're good.
Okay, in the chat room. Am I still echoing?
I'm still hearing echo.
Okay. Darcy just echoed.
Okay, check if your headset, check in your sound. Okay, where it says speakers or whatever, or sound. You have the microphone thing. Click on that and see what's selected for your headset, for your speakers. Is it the headset that's selected? You got to select that. Anyway, as we were talking about, so people of EF Dawa, actually, I was hoping to run into my old friend Ijaz Ahmed, the doxer, the racist doxer, because he was the first person I debated on Pal Talk a long time ago. My first encounter with him, I'll never forget it. He was like 16 or 17 years old. He said the reason why Muslims have beards is to protect them against homosexuals. I'm not making up and that turns out to be true. Anyway, Eric, how are we going? How are we doing here?
Well, I clicked a couple things, and I'm still hearing myself. Well, I can hear myself through the headset, so that might be okay. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
you're good now. I think you're good now. Yeah.
In chat, am I echoing? Connie says Red's not echoing, but they were saying earlier that I was.
Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. I'm echoing a little bit, but that's okay. We'll work through it.
Yes, everybody's saying I'm echoing. How about this? I just put an echo cancellation.
Okay, testing.
Here. I'm recording. I'm going to record that. What's my mic? Hold on. Let me try one. Let's try. How's that? Is that an?
Keep talking because you're kind of breaking up there.
Well, that I can't see what I am trying to come on. I feel like an amateur. Microphone, DVD. How about that? No, that's just echoing on my head. I'm still echoing. Okay, yeah. Okay. Let me try this.
Is there a printer? Are you printing something?
No, hold on.
Anyway, as I was saying, so I joined this thing, but Ijaz, I just had a family event. But so these two, one of them supposedly is a PhD doctor. They seem like nice fellows for jihadis. I'm just saying, they chopped my head off just as soon as looking at me, but that's beside the point. But they seem like nice folks. But all right, let's see what Eric's got in store for us here. Now, Eric's gonna have to hold on. Let's see.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
The question is, can you hear me through your headset? Can you hear me through your headset?
Right here. Let's try that. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Are you hearing me through your headset?
Give me a sec. Let me try this. Communication. USB.
Okay, you're on the microphone now. You're definitely on the microphone.
So
you're definitely on the microphone. Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us through your headset?
Good Lord.
Okay, wait, Eric.
Hold on.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. I don't know what he did with this boom mic and his headset.
Good.
Okay.
Where did it go? Add.
All right.
There.
All right. Anyway, Eric, can you hear me, Eric?
Okay. There.
Can you hear me, Eric?
Is anybody?
Can you hear me, Eric?
Not working.
Can you hear me? Someone type in, can you hear radical, so I can post in the room, please?
Okay.
Someone type in in the YouTube chat, can you hear radical, so I can post it up there so I can see it, because he can't hear me.
Eric, you hear me?
If he can't hear me, he can't hear you, Darcy. All right.
This should be bigger. No. There. Okay. I got it.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I'm
okay. I can hear you. I can't hear an echo from you.
What's echoing on my? Do you have another open at all?
No, I don't have another window open at all. All right, totally X out.
Do this. Go out 5 seconds and come back in.
All right.
Okay, so it's just me here, and without Rad here, I do not hear an echo. Do you guys hear an echo in chat when he's out?
You're perfect now.
Okay, so that okay, Rad, come on. Where did he go? He just needed to go out for a second. Now Mamma mia, this is really okay. So evidently, can you hear me pounding on this?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the mic it's going through. So okay, and then I re-put it through the speakers here. That's pretty bad when you got to sit here and screw around with with the equipment.
No, it was fine until Rad came in.
Well, that's what it's got to be on his end. He's claiming it's on our end, but it's the only time that we have the problem is when he pops when he wanted, he wanted to share his screen, and I think, what does it mean? It won't let me rejoin. Good Lord, boy. Guest team, invite member, send invite. Dude. Let me put this up here. I don't get it. Looks like Connie's leaving us. She's probably tired of all the missteps. Yeah, I don't know. Rad says he can't rejoin, and I'm not sure why that is. It must be on his end. It's and what happened the week before we had we were out for 2 weeks. We had a show the week before that dealt with I think I titled it Islam, like it was like a death call. And what I had done was I got several video clips demonstrating how Islam is a death cult. And when I was viewing those clips and screening them for the show, that just put me in this funk, and it was just absolutely terrible to be in.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Okay, so just as soon as you went out, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, so just as soon as you went out, the echoing stopped.
That's weird.
It is. I'm thinking when you were trying to share your screen, did you have that up?
I still have it up, yeah.
Okay. Because I was thinking, what did I do here? Here we go. Oh, there we go. I was thinking that might have caused the echo when you were sharing your screen. So
all right, well, let's try it again.
Bring it back up and let's see what happens.
All right. I hate this program. I really do. The whole thing. Oh, God, stop. I'm trying to find it. Okay, talk to me, Eric.
Talk to me. There, I'm echoing.
Really?
I can hear it.
All right, well, let's try this then. Okay.
Airing.
And screen share. Okay, let's try this.
Okay, how about now?
I think I got an idea.
Not echoing now.
I got an idea. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Come on. Okay. All right, hold on. This is live, folks. This is not Memorex. Okay. Share screen.
Oh, that's dead. There we go.
Okay. All right. What about now?
What about now? No echo. I do not hear it in the chat. Do you hear an echo? I think we are.
That's interesting. So if I share it as a window, there's an echo for you, but not for me. That's just weird. All right, let's continue to play it.
I did send a net notification. I could have swore I did. If I didn't, I apologize. My apologies. I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah, he sent a notification. I got it. I mean,
well, I don't know. I send it out to.
Oh, not in Facebook. You didn't share it in Facebook.
I send it to all my Facebook pals, and sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't pop. Okay, so let's get on with this. Let's get back to the show and start.
Here we go.
10 minutes.
All right,
here we go. Picking our noses.
Because Muslims are under Sharia. Non-Muslims are not under Sharia. You can't be. Because Sharia is literally is obeying the laws of God. And you can only obey them if you believe in them. Now, when it comes to certain things like warfare and battles, the state has a responsibility to protect its citizens, Muslims and non-Muslims. It has that responsibility. So, for example, if someone were to attack, God forbid, America is going to defend all of the citizens within its borders, irrespective of if they're Democrats or if they're Republicans, or it doesn't matter at that stage, right? Yeah. So what happens in?
Well, hold on. I just want to say that because you said it will depend on Americans. Eric, you served in the military, right? You're a retired vet, correct? Served distinguishing, correct? Yes. Okay. So, isn't it in your oath of allegiance? You say defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and Democrat. Doesn't it say that?
Democrat, no.
Oh. Well, it should say that.
Yes.
I'm just saying, yes, okay. Well, that Democrat, domestic, it's the same deal. Anyway, I just want to continue.
Here's when he says that if you live in if you are a non-Muslim living in a Muslim country, it is the responsibility of the Muslim government to protect all people, to include non-Muslims. Now, I can tell you right now, I would never, ever trust a Muslim government to protect me in time of war if I'm a non-Muslim. I would never. There is no way.
Oh, I agree totally. But let's continue on because, well, he actually highlights that point. I was just kind of making a joke there. I said it to my dad. He's a vet, and anyway, I said it to him. He didn't like that joke. But anyway, let's continue on.
In Islam is that everyone should come forward and help defend the state. If there are people who don't come forward, so for example, the men who are fighting age amongst, say, the Christians, who don't come forward, rather than they would have to pay a tax based simply on the fact that they're not fighting for the state against enemies. And what that means is that the women are not paying, the children are not paying, the elderly are not paying, and anyone who is fighting isn't paying. So if you were to say,
okay, so that's like patent false for one regard. Well, maybe women are not counted. I don't know. Maybe it is just it depends. Okay, it depends. But here's the deal. So the jizya, according to this guy, he's an actual PhD guy. He's a doctorate, supposedly. But according to him, the jizya only applies during time of war, and that's only your draft dodging ticket. Only if you are an able-bodied male, okay, that can fight in the service of the country, you can pay the jizya to get out of it. Does that even sound right? Does that even? I mean, no, seriously. I mean, the jizya is collected whether they're in a time of peace or whether they're in a time of war. Do you see what I'm saying? Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I've looked it up in the jurisprudence manual for the Sharia, for Islamic law, and on page 608, Division O, Section 11.4, it talks about the non-Muslim poll tax, And it says the minimum non-Muslim poll tax is 1 dinar per person. It doesn't say
Right.
that women are exempt. It is collected with leniency and politeness as all debts, and that's bull. Oh wait, it does say, and is not levied on women and children or the insane. So you would be safe, Brad.
Thank you.
That's not funny. I'm sorry.
No, it is. It is because I am a child.
Obliged
So,
to
yeah,
comply with okay. Such non-Muslim subjects are obliged to comply with Islamic rules that pertain to the safety and indemnity of life, reputation, property. In addition, they are you can't commit adultery. You have to distinguish yourself from Muslims in dress. You have to wear a zunar, wide cloth. You cannot be greeted with Assalamu alaikum. You must keep to the side of the street. You can't.
Oh, stop right there. Stop right
Muslims.
there, Eric. So stop right there, Eric. The side of the street. What does that mean? So
that
yeah,
means
those
go to the nastiest part of the street. When this was written, all of the feces from the animals that were riding would collect on the narrowest side of the street, and Christians were required to. So
you're pretty much walking knee deep in horse manure, cow manure, and urine.
Reset. Something just reset.
What happened?
I don't know.
I hate this program. I'm telling you,
just all of a sudden reset. It says that you're forbidden from building new churches, and you can't openly display wine or pork. You can't ring church bells. So all of this stuff is part of being, is part of dehimitude and being a dhimmi. And I refuse.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen here.
Well, now here's another thing. I do want to comment on the women. So yeah. So first of all, we just proved that what he said was totally false. The jizya does not apply, or does not only apply to during a time of war, where it's your get out of army service ticket. In other words, well, think about what this would be. This would mean that only the wealthy Christians, okay, could pay their way out of serving to defend their country. I mean, think about what this is saying here, people. Okay? This is saying you as a Christian or a Jew or a Zoroastrian, Hindus, forget about it, they're done. But you as a Jew, a Christian, Zoroastrian, if you are wealthy and there is an invading army on your country of a bunch of screaming communists led by AOC herself or Zorhan Mandami, okay, you can sit there and say, oh, let the peasants do that. Here's my jizya to get myself out of this war and my children out of this war, please. Thank you very much. Why go drinking tea on my private yacht in wherever? You know what I mean? That's what this is doing. So that's a horrible idea. Okay? Horrible idea. But it's false to begin with. But even if it's true, it's a horrible idea. But here's the thing. Think about what this says regarding not taxing women. Okay, this might sound to you ladies as a good thing, but no, this is a very bad thing. Why is it a very bad thing, Eric? The 2/5 rule of taxation for the slaves. They're not women. You are not even 2/5 of a person. That you cannot even be taxed. Do you see what
you're considered almost property as
exactly.
a woman? Yeah.
Exactly. No. What I'm doing with the 2/5 part, this is a problem in America. How are we going to tax the slave states? Because we're taxing per person, right? Well, are slaves considered a person? Well, no, they're only 2/5 of a person for taxation. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, all right. But they're counting what? Anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, but that's what I'm getting at. So yes, women, you are less than a slave in early in antebellum America. Okay, this is horrible for you. But either way, all this is not really true. But let's play some more because I know Eric wants to go. We're running late here. only because this program really sucks. And I hate it. You ever see how much I hate it? I can't say that.
Hey, look, guys, if someone attacks the country, I know I'm in a Muslim country. I'm happy to fight against those people because this is my country. You wouldn't pay the jizya.
Pause it just for a second. Can you
And in
pause it?
fact, we have an example in Spain. So in 19,
So if this guy is just as big as a coward as everybody else. These guys, they always talk a big show, just like Hamas did. Talk a big show. We were happy to fight. We would rather, or we love death more than you love life. It's all a bunch of baloney. They're all a bunch of cowards. This guy's saying, "Oh, I would fight for." No, you wouldn't. You're sitting in a chair, running your mouth. You're all nothing but cowards. Go ahead. Sorry. I just wanted to make sure people understand. That's what these guys. They're all talk.
Well, okay, I get you, but
do the
deed, let's not ruin the collab here. Let's not ruin the collab that we're trying to set up.
Disgust me.
Okay, but let's deal with what he said here.
Okay.
He said, I as a Muslim, so let's take this at face value. I as a Muslim, okay, in a Muslim country, I have no problem fighting for my country. Okay? All right? But he is saying that Christians living in a Muslim country, it's not their country. So they can opt out. They can opt out. They can pay only the wealthy Christians, okay, or Jews or whatever, can opt out to defend their country. Eric, okay, if you were a Jew, a Muslim, well, you wouldn't be a Muslim, but if you were anything other than a Christian, would you still be proud to defend the United States of America and serve 20 years of your life doing it?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. This is my point. This dude just admitted that Muslims have no unity with the country that they're in unless it's a Muslim country. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, Brandon, okay, okay. Here's the thing. People say, well, this is back in the time, when the in the early Middle Ages and so on and so forth. Okay, fine. But remember, Islam is universal. It is true today as it was yesterday. And it will be true yesterday as it will be in the future. In other words, it is universal. It is eternal. Okay? Allah's laws cannot change. So what he is saying is this: if you have a country and Islam comes to supremacy, okay, first of all, you are second-class citizens if you are not a Muslim. Okay? Now he will argue against that, but no, it is what it is. But just in the fact of defending the country, he's arguing honestly for cowards. He's arguing, saying you live in this country. This is remember, okay, so this is an Islamic country, the greatest government system. Since communism or before communism. It's an Islamic paradise, an Islamic utopia. All the poor people are being fed. Who knows how they're building roads, bridges, airlines, air traffic controllers, railroads, sewers. Okay, who knows how they're doing all this? But at least the poor are being fed, right? Okay, so it's a total paradise. Why wouldn't you want to defend this paradise? Why wouldn't you want, if you are born into this country and you live in this paradise, why wouldn't you want to defend this paradise against an enemy from the outside? Anybody? No, Eric, right? You would want to do this. Am I right? This would be the greatest thing.
If the country supported me as an individual, yeah, I would want to. But if it did not support me,
but it's a paradise, Eric. No. I'm saying paradise. I'm saying it's everything that you could ever possibly want, according to these Muslims.
Oh yeah. If it was okay, you're right. So if it was this utopian place where if I just have all I have to do is just pay this tax, and I'm living here and I'm being treated like a king by these Muslims, yeah, of course I would want to defend it. Yeah, of course. But that's not how it is. That's not the reality on the ground. Where'd you go, Rad? Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Don't know what happened to you. Did I do something to you here? Boy, is this on me? Let me. Are you there, Rad? Hello? Hello?
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm just trying to sort of thing else. Okay, so you agree, right, Eric? You would defend this utopia that
Sure.
you live in, okay, even though you don't belong into this religion. Okay, but here this guy's arguing that you don't have to do this, okay, if you are rich and wealthy and you can afford to pay the jizya. And he is saying also, but remember, people, in mathematics, the inverse is always true, okay? This is the inverse law here. He is saying that he's a Muslim, he lives in a Western country, the UK. He is saying that no, he would not defend the UK against an enemy that is attacking it. Do you see what I'm saying? He is seriously sitting there saying, because he's arguing the inverse of this. He is saying, well, let's rewind this. I gotta get a better dude. Maybe we need math books. I don't know, because anybody have a player that can play this stuff back that we don't? I mean, I've noticed like AP and stuff, they can easily rewind stuff in YouTube Live. Where are we at here? We're at 103.38. 103. Yeah, okay. Let's go back here. We'll go back to this. Okay, you ready? Listen to what he says.
Don't come forward. Rather than they would have to pay a tax based simply on the fact that they're not fighting for the state against enemies. And what that means is that the women are not paying, the children are not paying, the elderly are not paying, and anyone who is fighting isn't paying. So if you were to say, look, guys, if someone attacks the country, I know I'm in a Muslim country, I'm happy to fight against those people because this is my country, you wouldn't pay the jizya. And in fact, we have an example in Spain. So in 19...
Okay, so you see that? Did you guys hear that? I'm living in a Muslim country, I want to fight against a Muslim country, I don't have to pay the jizya.
What did he say about Spain? Let me hear what he says about Spain.
Oh, yeah, so this is a total blatant lie, which I wish I had the time, but I got caught up in trying to buy a new car. But I wanted to back this up with facts. But here we go. Listen to this.
In 1492, when Isabella came and conquered Spain, and they drove all the Jews and the Muslims out, what the Muslims did is they gave the money that they had from the jizya back to the Jews, saying, "We can't protect you. These people are driving us out, so you're paying us."
There were Christians. There were Christians also.
Christians as well. Okay. We can't protect you, and they gave the money back to them because
that's a lie. That's a lie. And number one, Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand didn't come to power and then push the Muslims out. Good Lord, there's so much there that we could talk about. But the bottom line is that these guys were finally kicked out of the country on their asses, exactly the way that they needed to be, because they came into Spain and butchered people for 700 flipping years.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing on this.
But we were kind of Jews. Shut your pie hole. God, what a liar.
Here's the thing on this, okay? So first you saw that Isabella, 1492, what happened? Columbus sailed the ocean blue. I'm just gonna find that funny. But anyway, they're talking about, it's called the Reconquista in Spanish, okay? Reconquista. That means they reconquered it. In other words, okay, it had been conquered by the Moors, by the Muslims, and finally the Spanish rose up and reconquered their own land, okay? All right? That's what it is. They finally drove the Moors out, the Muslims out, okay? Why would they do that? It's an Islamic paradise. Why would anybody rise up to drive out the Islamic paradise? Hello? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The whole point of no, seriously. If you're living in an Islamic paradise where everything is great, it's the golden age. Oh my God, everybody, dude, dogs and cats are living together, Eric. Seriously. The lion is laying down with the lamb. There's no poverty. There's no nothing. Okay, blah, blah. It's a beautiful thing. But all of a sudden, these evil, Isabella and Ferdinand, no, it's Eve. They have to be Jews. They had to be Jews, I'm just saying. But they rose up and they conquered the Muslim land from us. Well, first, no, the whole thing fails. It's just utterly stupidity. Okay? All right? But let us just say, for argument's sake, that there was a case where Muslims in one village, one town, were finally being driven out. Remember, everything is not. Well, Eric, you're in battle. You've been in battle. You understand. If there is a battle happening, say, in Basra, it's not the same battle happening in Fallujah. Okay? What happens in Basra happens in Basra. What happens in Fallujah happens in Fallujah. You know what I mean? No, it doesn't. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not the same thing. It's not a cohesive thing. So let's say there was some Muslim that were driven out of a town, a city, or a village. And they said, okay, look, I'm sorry. We can't protect you. Here's your money back. Okay, fine. Good for you. In other words, I'm thinking more it was like the Jews held them up and said, dude, you guys are getting out of town. Give us our money back. You know what I mean? That's probably more than what happened. But either way, that was not the standard. That was an exemption. You cannot base your whole thing on an exemption. I'm just saying for argument's sake. I'm not saying it happened. I'm just saying for argument's sake. But either way, be that as it may, okay, they have this. They honestly seem like nice guys. I would love to have a pint in a British pub with them. And yes, I'm sure they drink a pint or two. I'm just saying. But yes, okay. But I'm just saying, okay. But what they have this unrealistic academia, this syrup view of reality. But let's continue on here. Let's continue on.
That was the agreement. Will you pay us? You don't have to fight. You relax. We will protect you. When they couldn't do that, they gave it back to them. That happened in the 1400s, 15th century.
Like, hello, we're being attacked by enemies of country. You better fight, right, Eric?
If you are,
Eric?
yeah. You better shoot back.
Seriously, what kind of nonsense? I'm going to protect cowards? This is Islam? This is your utopia? Your utopian system that protects cowards for money? For money? They're living off of your teat in Islam. They're living off of your social benefits of feeding the poor, blah, 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 whatever. They don't have to pay for that. You know what I mean? And they won't fight for it? What kind of nonsense? You're rewarding traitors. You're rewarding treason. Okay? And then you're saying, yeah, okay, dude, sorry. You wouldn't fight for us. We had this great thing here, people. It was a paradise of paradises. And you guys wouldn't fight for it. But here's your refund on your cowardice? Does that make sense to you?
None of it makes sense, and that's the problem. And these guys, what they do is they come on. They have these. It says open forum, but my question would be, is, how long can you talk in these open forums before they start cutting you off?
Well, it was pretty much my experience. But again, I was on the motorcycle, and well, this guy, he was just. Well, he came on first wearing the MAGA hat. He's not MAGA. Look at him. I can tell he's not MAGA. He's a poser. And then notice he turned around the MAGA hat. Oh, and by the way, just to let you know, the old red MAGA hat, that's so 2020. We are now in multicolored. MAGA hats have been so for a while. Upgrade your MAGA game. I'm just saying. But yeah, no. But anyway, point being is this. Do people in the text chat, am I making sense to you all? Are you understanding what I'm saying here? They're arguing. Okay, let's say, give them the argument for argument's sake. Let's say they are correct that Islam was his total paradise. That, you know what, if you didn't want to defend it, you could opt out. You could pay to opt out. Does that make sense to you, Eric? Does that make sense to anybody in text chat? You are living in a paradise where you don't pay any taxes. All the poor are fed. Everything is great. It's an Islamic paradise. Okay? Right? Okay? And an evil communist regime led by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, okay, comes to take over and ruin your great paradise. Wouldn't you want to defend the paradise, Eric?
Yeah, you would
Regardless,
think you would. You would think you would, but it doesn't make any sense at all.
Anybody in chat? What about you, Elizabeth? Would you want to defend the paradise? Would Protestant? Would you want to defend it? Okay, seriously. But instead, you're paying to opt out of it, and then they reward you for your cowardice. You wouldn't want to defend the paradise, Protestant? You wouldn't want to defend the paradise where you pay no taxes. You can worship your God, whatever it is, do whatever, and pay no taxes, unless you wanted to opt out of going to fight for this paradise. You wouldn't want to fight for it. Okay, well, that says a lot about you. Anyway, but point being is this. They're arguing against themselves. This is what I'm saying. You can concede the argument. In other words, what I'm saying, people, listen to me. What I'm saying to you is you can spend your time you can spend your time going tit for tat, saying, okay, well, in this part of history, this happened, Islamic history. And they will come back and say, but no, in this part, we have this happening. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? Or you can sit there and say, okay, fine, I'll concede your argument. It was a paradise. It was great. Christians and Jews had to pay no taxes, according to you. Right? So, Protestant believer, if what they're saying is true, you would not want to defend that? They're saying that in their version of Islam, you would have to pay no taxes, but yet you could benefit from all the rewards of this great paradise. Your poor are fed and clothed and housed. No, you wouldn't? Okay, whatever. Anyway, the point being is that everybody else would, Protestant. What they're saying is that instead of defending this, you can opt out of it. So you would be a coward, Protestant. You would be a coward. You would sit there and say, I will not defend this great country that I'm part of. Well, it doesn't matter if they're lying. I'm talking about. Do you know what argument for argument's sake means? Argument for argument's sake. Do you know what that means? Okay? It means you can concede their argument, fine. Okay? Let us go with what you are preaching to me. Okay? But here's how I'm going to tear down your argument. I'm going to show you with what you are argumenting is totally, completely false because it's stupid. But you are sitting there saying, oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. All right, Protestant, fine. Then you're the coward. You will pay the jizya. Protestant will pay the jizya. Anyway, let that be known. Protestant will pay the jizya. He will not defend the Islamic paradise. Okay? But anyway, point being is this. Okay? Clearly, these dudes are like, honestly, they are living out this one-dimensional thing. But let's continue on with more of this. Although we do have a Protestant that will pay not to defend our paradise.
You know, you're missing his argument. His argument is he wouldn't give the Muslims a dime, regardless of what they promised, because he knows who they are. He's not saying it because of any other reason. He's just saying, I'm not giving them a dime because I know who the hell they are. I don't care how good I got it. I'm not giving them a cent of my money. That's what he's saying.
Okay, so he's not going to pay the jizya. Well, then he gets killed. Just saying.
No, I'm not saying it. Well, I mean,
No,
you can hold up
no.
by being
No,
Bible.
let's go.
Right, let's go. Let's go.
All right, here we go.
So this idea, and it's a very small amount. It's much less than the zakat the Muslims would pay. Much less than that.
Well, that's clearly a lie.
So,
but no,
I don't think I don't think that makes.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You can argue against it. You can say, well, that's a total lie. And you can go into this. No, what I am saying is this: flip the script, dude. Say, okay, fine. You are absolutely right. I grant you this. Why would I not defend this? Are you catching what I'm saying here?
I understand it. Okay, you're beating Brad. You're beating a horse to death here. We understand what you're saying about it. If you're living in paradise, of course you're going to want to fight for it.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you very much.
The fact of the matter is that he's lying through his teeth.
Of course they're lying.
Okay,
but we can't. But we can't prove tit for tat that he's lying. We can only prove that what his lie is philosophically wrong and fails. You can't prove to a liar that they're lying, is what I'm saying. The only thing you can do is prove that they're lying fails. Even if their lie is the truth, it still fails and it's still false. That's what I'm saying. We have to be smarter in our argumentation. And well, let's continue.
To a second-class citizen, it's just the function. So, like for example, I have to pay tax if I work. I don't like to pay tax I have to pay it, and the rates are really high. You know, especially in the UK, they can be really eye-watering. But the whole point is that the state requires it, and it's going to help the people in the state who maybe are disadvantaged, or maybe need healthcare, or maybe need other things, whoever they might be. And I might not agree with some of the causes. If they're going to help LGBTQ people or whatever, and I'm not agreeing with that, I still don't have a right to refuse to pay that. I have to pay that. And there's consequences if I don't. I could say this makes me a second-class citizen, but what I would be doing is I'm saying that I would be sort of putting my own...
Wait. So paying taxes the same rate that everybody else pays taxes in your income tax bracket makes you a second-class citizen, right?
But, okay... Brad, the whole premise of what he's saying is wrong. So it doesn't really matter what he says right now. And that's the point. He's saying you're going to pay the jizya. Paying the jizya is not the same as paying taxes to the state. Everybody has to pay taxes to the state. You are paying a separate tax to the mosque. That's what the jizya is. It's to the mosque. It's not to the state. And then that same money that you give that you're supposed to give to the mosque, you also have to give money to your church. And the only reason why you're able to have your church is because they won't burn to the ground as long as you pay the jizya. You don't pay the jizya, you don't have a church. Why? Because they burn it to the ground. This whole idea of the jizya, it just pisses me off when people like this start talking about it, because he's lying through his teeth. It's not this grandiose thing that he's talking about. Everybody knows it. He's full of shit. Excuse my language. And it just...
I agree with you.
Sitting here listening to him.
I agree with you 100%. But again, for this person, and for people that believe this nonsense, again, you'll never convince him. He's vetted in it. Okay. But for people that listen to him and they believe in this utopian idea, you can spin your wheels. You can sit there and bring up history book after history book after history book to them. You can give them fact after fact after fact, okay? And they will come up with their own fact after fact after fact. Well, their facts, okay? And they will come up to, some, again, they will show that, hey, there was a local leader or a caliph that did something good to Christians and Jews. Okay, that may or may not have happened. No big deal. What I am saying is this: address their argument. In other words, allow their argument to be, okay, let it say it's true. Their argument fails if it's true. Their argument fails because it's a lie.
We got that.
Okay,
even
all right.
If it is true, it fails. Why?
Okay.
Because you're not living in a utopia.
Exactly. That's
So
what I'm
it's
saying.
not. We got it. We understand it.
Okay. All right. But I don't know why you're angry at me, yelling at me. Okay. Anyway. We lost.
Guy, and it. Oh my goodness.
Eric, you broke us.
I'm
You know what I
sorry.
mean?
No,
Yeah.
you're sitting here making me listen to this guy, and the only thing this guy's doing is just pissing me off. Is because I know he's lying through his teeth.
Well,
Because I know
but
that there's this utopian idea that he's spewing
right.
is a lie.
But
And I
Eric, we're
guess your
not
argument,
talking
if
to
it was
him.
true, if you did live in this utopia, you'd want to preserve it. Of course, you'd want to keep it going. But everybody knows it's a lie.
But Eric, here's the thing: we're not talking to him. When we address them, we're addressing his audience. This dude is this dude is solidified. You're not going to convince him. Okay, all right, is what I'm saying. We need to be better. We need to address those that listen to them, and we can I mean, just honestly, just anyway. But let us continue on because it gets even kind of funnier. Well, I think it's funny. And you're like, I'm pissed off. I can show you videos from you and Kenny interacting. I need to download those and show you. They were totally funny. Before, what happened. Anyway. All right. Well, isn't it? Well, no, we still got a few more minutes. So, Anyway. Oh, I hate this program. Goodness, I can't say this enough. Oh. Hold on. Because I got two screens. This stupid thing. No, this is how stupid this program is.
Which program are you running?
No, this Streamlabs thing. It cannot. Okay, I have to have. Okay, if you got two screens and if you want to share a screen, the screen that you're sharing has to be on. Okay, the same screen. It cannot differentiate between the two. Okay. Oh, and the tab. This is a freaking thing. All right. Oh, the tab has to be in the same tab as the StreamYard. Okay. Hold on. You know what? Forget about it. I'm done. I'm done with it.
What? What else did he have to say?
I can't remember, but it was good. But yeah, no, I just actually closed it out, okay, because the StreamYard was screwed up. But anyway, so in conclusion, the fake Christian MAGA hat wearing, I mean, dude, this dude is not MAGA, okay, which I wanted to confront him on that, but he left. He definitely was not MAGA. He's like, no, I can understand you. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. Oh, well, no. So they ask him, okay, all right, what do you find offensive in Sharia? Do you know that Sharia, we're to take care of the poor and we're to do all these things? And I'm like, dude, have you ever heard the Beatitudes? Have you ever listened to, who was it? James? It was James, right? Who said, what good does it do to you to tell your brother, go in peace, have a good day, if they do not have a cloak and they are freezing to death? You know what I mean?
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
That was James. I mean, pretty much, I'm summarizing. Jesus says, if you do not visit the poor, if you do not feed the poor, if you not if you not visit the prisoners in prison, get away from me. You do not know me. Okay, all right. I mean, no. But here's the deal. This is nothing I want to bring. Okay, so let's say yes, the Sharia law has all these positive commandments. Okay, what is the punishment if you do not do these positive commandments?
Well, it depends on which law that they're breaking. I can
Exactly.
sit here and read you some of the punishments.
Well,
no.
That's my point. What are they're called the had punishments. Okay, what are these? These are the prescribed punishments. Look, every religion, I don't care what religion there is, will have feed the poor, take care, comfort the prisoner, Be good to the stranger, or be kind to the stranger. All these things that he is saying, this is what we are told to do. Okay. Every pretty much religion, and even non-religion, says that. Atheists say this. Atheists say you should do this only because they're borrowing from our moral center. You know what I mean? But everything they say that's positive, this is what we are to do as Muslims that are positive. Okay, fine. Okay. What was the name of the video? The video I just played? Oh, it was EF Dawa. It was, they're doing a live stream right now. We should go join it, but no. But it was one before that. Okay. Radical Moderate makes his debut on their show. It's kind of funny. It's in their notes. But I didn't do as good as I wanted to. But anyway, point being is this. Okay. All right. So they have this flowery thing, like, okay, they can, all the things that every religion says you should do. And they say this is Sharia law. No, it's not, because Sharia law has punishments. Sharia law has had punishments, and I forgot what the other punishment was. But basically, these punishments are these punishments may have been good back in the day, but they are not universal. But according to Islam, they are universal. In other words, when it says stone the adulterous woman, they mean that then, they mean that today. When it says cut off the hand of a thief, well, guess what? It was good back then, it's good today. Do you see what I'm saying? Again, when they say kill the apostate, okay, fine. It was good back then, it's still good today and in the future. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. No matter what they say, Sharia, you always have to ask them, what about the had punishments? HADD, the had punishments. Okay? Ask them about that. Anyway, with that, I'm off the mic.
Okay. So he's talking about how great the Sharia is. Okay. So I'm just going to read a couple things here from the Sharia that I have tabbed, and I just want to start. I'm not, and you look at the beginning of it. It talks about. Let's see, this book on page. Let's see, 529 is where I start tabbing it. And if you look at the book is. Let me see here. 1,231 pages long. So if you go to the front of the book, this side here, this all on this side deals with how to be a Muslim, how to pray, how to worship, how to go on Hajj, all those things. This side of the book, let me see here, this side of the book, the right side, the majority of it talks about things like right here, division 529, division M, section 6.7, marriage. It is unlawful for a Muslim man to marry a Zoroastrian woman, an apostate from Islam, or a woman with one parent. And then it is not lawful or valid. It is unlawful for a man who has divorced. Let me see here. Maybe I missed where you cannot marry. It is unlawful for a Muslim to marry a Zoroastrian woman, an idol worshiper, an apostate from Islam, or a woman with one parent who is Jewish or Christian, while the other is Zoroastrian. It is not lawful for a valid Muslim woman to be married to anyone besides a Muslim man. So a Muslim woman cannot be married to a non-Muslim man. That's your Sharia. That's your Sharia law. Then we jump over here to, let's go to page 538, division M, section 10.3. A husband may permit his wife to leave the house for a lesson in sacred law, invocation, to see her female friends, or to go to any place in town. A woman, right here, A woman may not leave the city without her husband. Point 4, the husband may forbid his wife to leave the home. So if you're a woman, your husband said, you can't leave the home, guess what? You're in prison. You go to the next page, 540, when a husband notices a sign of rebellion in his wife, he can beat her. So you can beat your wife in Islam. That's part of the Sharia that he was talking about. Let's see, a waiting period. Oh, here's one. Here talks about divorce. They're divorcing a woman. Here we go. A waiting period is obligatory for a woman divorced after intercourse, whether the husband and wife are what? Whether the husband and wife are prepubescent, have reached puberty, or one has and the other has not. Gee, I wonder how that works out. How many Muslim men are marrying old women? Prepubescent men, boys, are marrying older women. What are they talking about? They're talking about old scumbags, just like the prophet, jumping on little prepubescent girls, and then you can divorce them after you, what does it say, have intercourse with them. That's your Sharia. Is that something that we're supposed to live by?
That's
Then
a
you got right over
paradise.
here. What was that, Rad?
It's an Islamic paradise. I'm just telling you.
Exactly. Here it is. With the implementation, and all these guys get on these videos saying, "Oh, we want to implement the Sharia." This is your Sharia. This is what you are. This is what they want to implement. Breastfeeding. The milk comes. You can't. What does this say? This is something where becoming unmarriageable by unmarriageable kin by suckling. The milk comes from a female of at least 9 years old, whether it is occasioned by sexual. Who puts this type of into a religious law?
A 9 years old?
9 years old.
Milk?
Why do they say 9 years old, Rad?
No way. I didn't even know that because that's the age of Aisha.
Exactly.
Wait. What is that? Post that in the text.
That is page 576. Page 576. Division N as in November, section 12.2a.
Okay. So that just ruined my favorite part about Islam. Because I'm telling you, and if you ever work in an office environment, you've all been there. Well, if you like coffee with cream, because I do. You go to get coffee, okay, and the creamer's out. And you got, your female coworkers. Wouldn't it be nice? Come up with a couple squirts for your coffee. I'm just saying. But not from a 9-year-old. I have to call faults on that one. I'm just saying. That's a funny joke.
This is
Eric's like,
I got more. Page 582. Page 582. Or no, it's on page 583. This is, let's see, this is division. What division is this? This is Division O, Section 1, and it talks about who is subject to retaliation for injurious crimes. And it cites Hadith, the killing of a believer is more heinous in Allah's sight than doing away with all of the world. Quran 2:178, O you who believe, retaliation is prescribed for you regarding the slain. And then it goes Division O 1.1, retaliation is obligatory against anyone who kills a human being purely, intentionally, and without right. And let's see, the following are not subject to retaliation: a child or an insane person. A Muslim for killing you're not subject to retaliation if you're a Muslim for killing, mandatory retaliation. A Muslim for killing a non-Muslim. That is on page 584. Or you go down to number 4 here. That was number 2. Number 4, listen to this one. This is perfect. A father or mother for killing their offspring or offspring's offspring. So you can kill your kids and your grandkids. Jump ahead a couple more pages. 595, apostasy. Leaving Islam is the ugliest form of unbelief, kufr, and worst. Let's see here. When a person Division O, Section 8.1, when a person who has reached puberty and is sane, voluntary apostatizes from Islam, he deserves to be killed. This is your Sharia. This is your Islamic law. Then it says, in such cases, it's obligatory for the caliph to do it, to get it done. And then it says also, you go drop down to section 4, there is no indemnity for killing an apostate, meaning that if you go kill apostate, you cannot be punished for it. There is no prescribed law for you to be punished if you go out and you kill an apostate. And then it tells what the acts of apostasy are for leaving Islam. Division 7, to prostrate to an idol. Here's what I was talking about earlier: to speak the words that imply such as Allah is one of three, or a trinity. Okay, but here's the one that I was talking about: to revile Allah or his messenger. If you revile Muhammad, that is considered apostasy, and you deserve to be killed. That's what that joker was talking about in that video that I showed. He gets it straight from their law. So if you live in the United States of America and they have their way, where they do away with our Constitution, they do away with the Bill of Rights, and they implement this draconian caveman flipping law, I would be killed. I would be the first one to be marched out if they could get their hands on me. But I promise you, it would not be pretty if they tried to. Then you just flip the page. Let's see. Oh, to revile the religion of Islam. Number 16 right here. Let's see here. To describe Muslim or wants to become a Muslim in terms of unbelief. It doesn't matter. All right. Division 9, Division O, Section 9, jihad. And it talks about jihad. Let's see. It says jihad means to war against non-Muslims. Listen to this part. And is etymologically derived from the word mujahada. Who cares? But it says, because everybody says, oh, my jihad is to lose weight. My jihad is to pass gas before I go into a class. Whatever. That's your jihad. That's a lie, because it says that jihad means to war against non-Muslims, signifying, etymologically derived from the word mujahada, signifying warfare to establish, what's the purpose of it? To establish the religion. It says over here that jihad is a communal obligation. So you have to, this is the Sharia. This is the Islamic law. This beautiful utopia that this joker is talking about. There was something, let's see, the objectives of jihad, right over here on page 602. Division O, Section 9.8. The caliph makes war upon Jews. It's right here in their book, folks. Read it. Pick it up. Page 602. The objectives of jihad. The caliph makes war upon the Jews, the Christians, and the Zoroastrians, provided first he invites them to Islam. Let's see here. Let's see. So that's the purpose of it. And then over here, the rules of warfare. It is not permissible to kill women or children unless they are fighting against the Muslims, nor is it permissible to kill animals unless they are being ridden into battle against the Muslims, or if killing them will help defeat the enemy. It is permissible to kill old men, meaning someone more than 40 years old, and monks. So you can kill old men and you go kill monks. Woohoo! Look at there. It is unlawful to kill a non-Muslim to whom a Muslim has given guarantee of protection. Oh, how nice of you. Let's see here. When a child or a woman is taken captive, this is on page 604, Division O, 9.13. When a child or a woman is taken captive, they become slaves by the fact of the capture and and the woman's previous marriage is immediately annulled. This is the Sharia. This is what they want to impose upon the West. What a garbage. Let's see. When an adult male is taken captive, they have to consider the interest. Can they ransom him and get money? What else we got here? Let me get over here. Jizya. Oh, here's the jizya. You have to pay the jizya. You have to distinguish yourself from this is basically Pack of Umar stuff, and we've done the Pack of Umar on this show several times. But it says non-Muslims are obliged to comply with Islamic rules, and that is they have to dress differently. They cannot be greeted. You cannot say "Peace be with you." There's something else that you say, but it's not Assalamu alaikum or whatever it is. They have to keep to the side of the street, what we talked about. You can't openly display wine or pork. Too bad. Forbidden, or you can't ring church bells or display crosses. Here we go. Here's a couple for you.
That's actually happening. That church bell thing is actually happening right now in Dearborn, Michigan. Just saying.
Say that again.
The church bell thing that is actually happening right now in Dearborn, Michigan. Well, it's
the call to prayer.
Well, no. So the call to prayer they've given an exemption to, where they can play their call to prayer at any time, whenever. Church bells are restricted, okay, between 9 a.m., I believe, and 5 p.m. Did you hear that? Church bells.
I hear. I mean, that's discrimination. Yeah. And why doesn't somebody take these people to court?
It's like 90% Muslim in a.
Don't care.
The 90% Muslims means all the judges are Muslims. Okay, federal and locally. Okay.
No, not federal. You take it to a U.S. district court, and that would down in a heartbeat. You have to get it out of Dearborn. I get that. You might even have to get it out of Michigan, but you get it
exactly. But in order to get it out of Michigan, it's going to take time, dude. They are doing it. They are doing it. No, they are doing it, but it's going to take time. Okay, all right. I'm just saying. Okay, but it is the way it's happening.
Okay, Division O, Section 11.6. They're forbidden to reside in the Hijaz, meaning the area and towns around Mecca. So you can't live around Mecca in the town, the Hijaz. You can't live in that area. And then, 0.7, it says a non-Muslim may not enter the Meccan sacred precinct, Haram, under any circumstances or enter any mosque without permission. So you can't even go into a mosque unless you are given permission. Let's see here. And then this agreement under the Pack of Umar, where you become a dhimmi, is violated if you commit adultery with a Muslim woman or marries her, leads a Muslim away from Islam, mentions something impermissible about Allah, the Prophet, Allah be blessed with him and give him peace, or Islam. So you can't even say something impermissible about Allah, Muhammad, or Islam, or they'll kill you. When a subject's agreement with the state has been violated, let's see, the caliph chooses between the four alternatives mentioned in section 9.14. So let's back up to 9.14, and then you can either put you into slavery, you can ransom them, or you can kill them. Decide between the death, slavery, releasing, or ransoming. What else here? Dhimmi rules. I just went over. Stoning for adultery. Oh, that's in here. You can be, if an offender is someone with the capacity to remain chaste, then he or she is stoned to death. Oh, gee whiz. Cutting off hands. Page 613 is in here. Witness in court. I believe unbelief. An unbeliever cannot testify in court. You have to have 2 women over here on page 637 and 1 man. The testimony of the following is legally acceptable. 2 women and 1 man. right there, page 637. Wife rebelling talks about, what does it mean to rebel? And there's, I mean, this is the Sharia. No submission accepted for any other reason, countenance by sacred law. Okay, and this is just a summation of it. Folks, this is garbage. This is not a way of life. This is subjugation by a bunch of, I'm not gonna go. I was gonna talk about a goat and all that other stuff, but you would, yeah, exactly. Who'd want to? Well, I don't know what you were saying about that hole that I was talking about, but I have no idea who would want to live in that. When that guy is telling Rad, when this guy is telling you all these things about how great the Sharia is and how great this utopia is, I know these things. You and I know all of these things.
Well, I do.
Have some moron going on there, not knowing these things.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's the person we're speaking to. You can give that person all these facts, and he'll just be like, "Oh, that's just Islamophobic talk." Because that's what I'm talking. No, the Islamophobe. But instead, if you turn the argument on them and say, "Okay, prove your Islamic paradise to be true," and why would nobody want to defend it? Why would nobody want to spend taxes on it? Where's this tax money going? That you know what I mean? Okay, if you attack their argument on that level, then there is nothing they can say to that. That's my whole point. Anyway, you're looking to the queen. You got to go, bro. So I see that. But all right. Anyway, thank you for allowing me to talk. Sorry, I know who he is. Protestant believer. Okay, for jumping on you. But no, seriously, you got to get into the moment, okay, and understand, put yourself into, take an acting class. Take an acting class, people. I'm just saying.
Take an acting class.
Take an acting class so you can sit there and say, okay, for this moment, this point, this scene, I can say, okay, everything you are saying is true, but now here's the problem with what you're saying is true. Okay? Do you see what I'm saying? And you attack, okay, again, not conceding the point, because we know it's false, but we can say, for argument's sake, let's say what you are saying is true. So let me put myself in that position of what you are saying is true, and then let me attack what you are saying is true. Okay? And I can demonstrate that what you are saying is true. I can demonstrate that it's false just by what you are saying. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just most people don't have the patience for that. And here, I was reading something the other day. I can't remember what it was, but they talk about Charlie Kirk.
Yes.
And how he wanted to, engage people in discussions.
Amen.
And they shot Charlie Kirk.
Yes.
Killed Charlie Kirk.
They did.
Because he wanted to engage people in discussions.
Mm-hmm.
And they still want to engage in discussions? I don't think so.
Okay.
And I've gotten to the point where I no longer, I can't say that I'm at that point where I no longer want to engage, but I no longer have the patience with these people that I once had.
I get it.
Because of the abject ugliness of what this religion does to non-Muslims.
I get it.
And Muslims alike, but specifically non-Muslims. We sit here and we look at. You sent me that video on Nigeria.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what we got to do a show on. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I think we still should do something about Nigeria, but it's just disgusting what they do to Christians in Nigeria, and nobody says boo. They all want to sit here and piss and moan about what's going on in Palestine, in Gaza. Shut up.
Well, that's because
they're not committing genocide. Number one, it doesn't even meet the definition of genocide. But the fact of the matter is that Israel is dropping leaflets on these people.
Which I'm against.
Sending them text messages. They're calling their cell phones. They're saying, "Get out of the way." They're doing everything they can because we're going after the Hamas holes who are hiding behind you. Get out of the way. That's not genocide.
Well, actually, if you look at it, it's kind of funny. So they went from we're starving and genocide as soon as the ceasefire happened. Oh, all our restaurants are open and we're having smorgasbords. I mean, no, seriously, they were celebrating. And oh my God, all these X and Twitter, whatever, all these influencers that were raising money, they're all like, I got $90,000 in U.S. cash. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? No, it was a total scam, but that's beside the point. Point being is this, okay? Again, we're not going to reach those people, okay? We're not going to reach Ahmadinejad, Ali Dawa. They're committed. They have been handed over. They got the grift. But we need to talk to those people that are susceptible to that grift, that are susceptible. Now, don't get me wrong. Most of them will join the cult and they'll be like, yeah, and they'll come to that realization that we have after 3 or 4 years. That's usually how it happens. They're like, yeah, this is stupid. But what I'm saying is this. We need to sit there and, okay, don't get me wrong. You know me. I'm a hothead. I get very angry with people, obviously Protestant believer, that do not go along with the script, okay? All right? But bottom line is this, okay? We are talking, okay, to the people. You mentioned Charlie Kirk, for instance. Charlie Kirk was not talking to he actually would say, or his wife would say, he was talking to his assassin. I would say, okay, but yeah, but he was actually talking to the people that would follow that assassin. And then once that assassin's bullet hit him, he was talking to those people that would say, no, this is stupid. I want no part of that. He wasn't talking to the people, okay? All right, that are celebrating his death. Those people have been handed over. Just like Christ, he said, I have only been sent to the lost sheep of Israel, but not everyone who's from Israel is in the sheep pen. You know what I mean? Okay? I could tell you, well, geez, okay, I'm sorry. I'm rambling here. Okay, only because I'm hungry now, because it's dinner time. But okay, anyway, no, we're going to end it there. Okay.
Well, let me just say one more thing about that. You had a teacher up there in Chicago the other day that she was participating in one of those No Kings demonstrations.
Lisa
with the Charlie Kirk flag, and she's like,
Lucy, yeah,
mocking it. I wrote a email to the superintendent of Chicago schools, and I'm not saying it's because of my email, but I'm sure it was because of the plethora of emails that she received. They ended up firing that teacher.
Okay, so fact check false. She was not fired.
No, that's not what the article
said. Are you sure?
I read today.
Are you sure?
I'll find it.
Okay. Last I heard, well, again, I've been like out car shopping all day, so I haven't seen anything. Okay. But last I checked, yesterday, okay, she was not fired and they were defending her. I guarantee you, I'm telling you this right. She will not be, even if she is fired, she will be given an award. She is a member of the Chicago Teachers Union. Chicago Teachers Union just publicly honored and gave an award to a cop-killing terrorist, okay, that died in Cuba in exile. Convicted cop killer who escaped from federal prison. and went to Cuba to escape. They honored her. They're not going to fire her. Sorry, dude. They're going to give her an award. At the end of the year, you watch, they will give her an award for her bravery, for standing up to tyrants.
She's facing calls for her to be fired. This is 3 hours ago.
Yeah, calls.
I swear I read an article today that she had been fired.
No. Okay, no. So there is this. It's AI generated. It's been circulating for days. Okay, since Sunday that she was fired. That's false. It's from Nathan Hale School. Oh no, it says Nathan Hale School District. There's no Nathan Hale School District. There's a Nathan Hale School in Chicago. That's where she's from.
Right.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, I swear I saw.
He has not been fired, dude.
She might
No.
And we had a local guy here in Kafiristan, was a realtor, did something very similar just after the assassination. I sent a email to that realty office, and he was fired.
Well, yeah, but okay. You don't understand.
Is that you don't. I'm a big proponent for freedom of speech, and if you want to say that, that's cool. That you have the freedom of speech. I don't think you should be put in jail for it. But if that is
well, I agree.
Eliminating what your character is.
I agree.
You have that character. I don't want to have anything to do with you, and I don't want you anywhere near children.
I agree. But no. Here's the thing with this teacher. No. So the actual school sent out. This is confirmed. Sent out an email to the parents. They're. Well, you're a teacher. You send out the email. Okay, to all the parents, whatever. And so that they've been made aware of an incident involving one of their teachers and all the death threats that have been sent to this teacher. And they are very aware of the security concerns, and they are doing everything they can to protect the students at the school, blah, 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 blah. She's not going to be fired. I am telling you, Eric, this is the Chicago Teachers Union. They're full-blown communists. They honored this woman who murdered several people, including a New York police officer, and wounded several others. Okay, she literally robbed the poor box of a Lutheran church and threatened to chop off the head of the priest. Okay. This is an evil woman. Our illustrious mayor called her, she is a great example of the Black liberation movement in the 1970s. Now, they're going to honor this woman. They're going to give her an award. They're going to wait till everything cools down, and they will give her an award. Well, when do you guys, Eric, when do you have your award ceremony for teachers? At the end of the year, right? Okay?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah. That's what she's going to give her an award for her bravery and commitment to social justice. You watch. Mark my word. Sorry, she's not fired. She will not be fired. She's tenured. She's a member of the Chicago Teachers Union. You ain't getting rid of her. I'm just saying. Anyway, thank you all for tolerating me and putting up with me, especially you, Eric.
Stay afterwards. I got to talk to you.
All right, sure, no problem.
All right, everybody. Again, thank you for coming to the Cross the Press discussion group, and we hope to see you. We will be here next week. Pretty sure we'll be here next week. God bless you. We'll see you then.
Advanced student and specialist, that the standard narrative has holes. That's what I'm.
That the Muslims were rioting against one another. And as much as we don't want to face the fact, the Muslims were lying sometimes. They were fabricating, they were embellishing, and that might be hard to accept, but that is a reality.